Hello, everybody. Welcome to a Week 7 League of Legends Fantasy Football video recap. So, to start it off, we're going to say congratulations to another Mirza. The Mirzas have been dominating week by week here, just taking everybody's money for the top scorer of the week. Honestly, been an impressive run. Straight up dominating the league. Mad respect. Got to give my flowers. Well, as per usual, we're going to start it off with the first matchup of the week, aka my matchup. It's going to be me versus Tim. I'm 1-5. He's 2-4. In order for me to stay alive, I have to win like 4 in a row here. So let's do it. We're going to do it. We got the power of God and anime on our side. I don't really want to go through the matchups. I don't think Tim watches these videos, so I don't think I'm going to spend much time on this, but I think I got a good shot at taking down Tim this week, but I'm going to call him out. I don't think Tim's paying much attention here. Tim, better shape up, kid. All right. Next matchup, we got Infi versus Alex. This is going to be a fun one. Infi is just he's projected at 150 right now. That's honestly insane. His team has gotten a super boost, some sort of like steroid boost. I'm going to give the matchup win to Infi. Just going to say that off the rip. After just looking at both teams consistently week after week. I mean, Kamara only scored 5 points. You got Josh Allen versus Trevor Lawrence. Trevor Lawrence has been playing a little bit better, but Josh Allen just got Amari Cooper. And if Amari Cooper plays, dude might score 40 points a week. I'm not kidding. James Cook might take a step back if Amari Cooper plays this week. I don't think it's going to be a huge step back. I think the touchdown upside will still be there for James Cook as per usual. But do I think he's going to get like 20 touches a game? Probably not, just because Josh Allen actually has a receiver to throw it to. Kareem Hunt, as of right now, even with Clyde Edwards-Helaire coming back, I think Kareem Hunt's still going to take majority of the touches, at least for this week. Clyde Edwards-Helaire might actually split the backfield with him like in 2 to 3 weeks once he's like good and healthy. But Kareem Hunt hasn't showed any real weaknesses for this team yet for them to consider just benching him. Harrison versus Pittman. Give me Harrison. I don't think Harrison has no passion. I really think it's Kyler who has no passion. After watching just how insane Kyler plays the game, dude, it just pisses me off. But still a talented receiver. Could put more effort into his route running, but I think in his head, his rookie mind, he's just like, is this guy even going to throw me the ball, right? Pittman. Pittman's solid if Flacco plays. If Flacco doesn't play, then like Pittman is a huge step down. Ayuk versus Addison. Ayuk's been pretty fucking atrocious. I thought it was just because he wasn't in tempo with his QB. Could be wrong about that. There's something deeper going on in that organization, and it's kind of shitty because they just signed him. Jordan Addison's getting healthier and healthier week by week, playing more and more snaps. I did try to tell people that those 2 touchdowns that he got were unsustainable, but the thing is Jordan Addison is the type of player that can boom or bust for you on a week-by-week basis. Has that touchdown upside. Njoku versus Kincaid. I like Njoku with no Amari Cooper there. He's probably going to be the number 1 receiver. Kincaid on the other side is splitting targets between like 6 other receivers, and then add Amari Cooper. Jayden Reed versus McLeod. I mean, Jayden Reed is just a far beyond superior player. Just so athletic, so good. Guy's so good at the game. Mad respect. It sucks having to say that to a Packer, but gotta give respect. McConkey versus Jawan Jennings. Jawan Jennings for Daniel Jones is going to go down in my history book as one of the worst trades, I think, of all time. Jordan Love and Hurts. Hurts has the running upside. That's probably why he's projected a point higher. But Love has way better throwing ability than Jalen Hurts. Let's just be real. Like, way better. If Jordan Love had Jalen Hurts as receivers, it would be over. Like no teams would be having fun. Philly D versus Colts D. Colts get to go against Miami, so that's good. Eagles get to go against the Giants, so that's also good. Both strong defenses. I'm still going to give the one to Infi. I don't know what this guy's going to do. Once Puka comes back, he'll be fine, but I guess he could plug in Alec Pierce. All right, we got Sarah versus Brett. Let's start it off by 25 points from the defense. Holy shnikes, dude. The Broncos D is legitimately top 5. Like, coming into this year, I knew they were solid, but they're so well coached. Even missing their best cornerback, top 5 cornerback in the league, they still showed out. That team is actually just showing up in a major way. All right, started off CJ Stroud versus Kirk Cousins. Both of these QBs will probably score around 25 points this week. Kirk Cousins is projected 22, but I think against Seattle, since both very fast-tempoed offenses, could be one of the highest scoring games of the week, could make that possible. CJ Stroud is just downright talented, so week by week he's probably going to throw you a couple touchdowns unless he has a really bad game. But it's been very rare that we've seen CJ Stroud perform at such a low level. And when he does, he normally has a huge bounce back game. Very impressive kid. Kyren, very special player indeed. Don't have many other words for him. He gets to go against the Raiders. So I think the weakest part of their defense is currently like defending the run game, which is surprising because their line is like their best part of their defense. It's like I don't even know how to describe their defense. It's just like a paradox. Ramondre, he may not even play this week. He did have a full practice, so that's good. But his foot injury was so unexpected last week. It almost seems like they're trying to trade him. I'm not gonna lie to you. To me, it's screaming trade bait. But we'll see. Dobbins versus Algier. Dobbins, I gave a lot of shit through the beginning of the year, mostly because I thought like he was going to split between 2 other running backs and like Gus Edwards and I can't remember the third running back, but he's been eating their lunch. Algier had a pretty solid week, but do I think it's going to be sustainable for him? No, not really. 18 attempts. No, I don't think that's going to be possible. I think him and Bijan are likely going to split, and Kirk isn't going to be down that many times. I think the running backs do much better when Kirk is struggling, obviously, because they have to rely on him. But you can't rely on that week by week. Kirk is a gunslinger, so they'll let him throw the ball whenever they get the chance. Stephon Diggs versus Godwin. Godwin's been just an absolute slot merchant, and it's not a bad thing. I know, like, whenever somebody says, like, somebody's a slot merchant, it comes off as negative. It's absolutely not, because if you're good in the slot, you're consistently getting the ball. You're consistently being fed. You're consistently getting looks. So Godwin is like really high upside week by week. I think he's the number 1 receiver this year. Number 2 receiver this year. And it has a lot to do with Baker playing like outstandingly well, but also like his position on this offense. You're guaranteed touches. He may not get you a touchdown every week, but that's fine because he's going to get you that 14, 15 points almost every week, especially in a half PPR, full PPR format. Stephon Diggs with Nico Collins gone is obviously the dog. Him and Tank Dell are going to eat. So like now it actually makes sense for Sarah to actually start both of them because now there isn't a third receiver for them to fight over. It's just the 2 of them, wide receiver 1, wide receiver 2. They're both going to get fed. They're both going to get the ball. Tank Dell has huge touchdown upside. Stephon Diggs has been getting touchdowns, but he's going to be the one consistently being fed targets, getting the first looks because, he's just that guy. A.J. Brown versus Drake London. As much as I don't like Drake London, him and Mooney have been just absolutely tearing up the field together. It's honestly like really astounding to watch if you watch their film at all. On certain play designs, one will clear out the field and the other will like run a nice pretty route and then be fed the ball by Kirk Cousins. And if that first look doesn't look out, then normally Kirk will just bomb it down the field to the second option, which is the clear out. It's been pretty nice. You don't know which one's going to run the deep route. You don't know which one's going to run the inside route. It's been pretty exciting offense to watch. A.J. Brown, on the other hand, coming back from an injury, didn't matter. Bro's an absolute nuke. He'll have his down weeks as per usual, like any other receiver. But A.J. Brown is a dog. He's legitimately he's like, I don't know, such an athletic freak. Even though I don't think he has the better throwing quarterback, I think he is the overall specimen. So their projections being neck and neck, pretty accurate. They could both drop you like 20 to 30 points on any given week. George Kittle versus Laporta. George Kittle this year has been much better than anybody was anticipating because George Kittle in the past, especially with like the talent on the team, he's been like kind of demoted to a blocking role. But this year they were like, you know what, like fuck that. Like Kittle's a good receiver too. Like why aren't we sending him out there and utilizing his athletic ability? And it's been working really well. Him and Brock Purdy clearly have a really good QB to receiver connection. It makes total sense that they're trying to feed him the ball a little bit more this year. Ayuk is the one who is taking the biggest hit on this schematically, but it looks good for Kittle. Laporta, on the other hand, is last year he was the receiving option, but a lot of receivers have clearly stepped up this year. They haven't had to rely on Laporta as much this year. It's reflecting a lot on his receptions. Still a good tight end. I'm not going to sit here and say Laporta's trash because he's definitely not. I just think like after the injury, he hasn't had that explosive step that he did last year. But you can tell he's starting to slowly gain that back. Josh Downs versus Dobbs. Josh Downs is my guy. I regret. I had him in every single one of my leagues, and I had dropped him in every single one of my leagues, and for no reason at all. I just had more faith in a couple receivers I shouldn't have had faith in. This is those things that I had biases on that like I needed to really reel back this year, but I couldn't help myself. Josh Downs is awesome. If it wasn't for his injury, he would probably be a top 10 receiver in fantasy. Like he's already number 37 and he missed 2 games. Like I think he could legitimately finish within the top 20 this year. Even with missing games. Even with Richardson or Flacco, I think he is the alpha receiver on that team. You watch him run routes. Alec Pierce is opening up the field for him, which is really nice. Downs, he's like a gadget receiver, sort of like not like Reed or Debo, but you could throw him in the slot, you can throw him in the X, you can throw him in the Z, you could throw him anywhere. Like you can line him up, and he's pretty solid. Dobbs, on the other hand, I wouldn't personally start Dobbs unless it was my last option. He has Aaron Jones and stuff like. I imagine he'll probably swap out Jones, swap him in for Jones, because I wouldn't play Dobbs unless I was forced to. He has touchdown upside, but would I rely on that touchdown upside week by week? No, because he can give you 2 points, he can give you a 5-point week. So, as somebody who's owned Dobbs in the past, I know what pain you're in when you own Dobbs. Dell versus Jefferson. Justin Jefferson is just insane. Bro he's so talented, man. And Tank Dell is a beast, and he could definitely put up touchdowns and probably score as much on as Jefferson in 1 week, but Jefferson week by week is definitely a better receiver. Purdy versus Richardson. Richardson has running upside, can barely throw the ball, but running, he can run the ball, so get your points. Brock Purdy is the better quarterback, like the better throwing quarterback, stronger scheme. So going against the Chiefs though, so that might be a little bit of a knock. Richardson gets to go against Miami, which is, good for him. So both these QBs will probably get you around their projections. Niners have to go against the Chiefs, and the Niners defense has not been playing that well. As somebody who owns the Niners defense and has been watching their games, they're giving you fantasy points, but they're not playing as well as we're used to seeing them play. In terms of matchup, they're both 5-1, but dude, 25 points from your defense, it's like if you get 25 points from your defense and you lose on that sort of a fantasy implication, I don't know what to tell you. So I'm gonna have to go with Sarah. It would take another 40 burger from Kirk Cousins in order to come back from a deficit like that. But it's totally possible. Both of these teams have been insane with scoring. Both impressive, both 5-1. One will be top of the league by the end of this week. If I'm being honest, this is probably our matchup of the week. It has a lot of exciting implications. One will get shot up to first, one will get pushed down to second, and then there is an opportunity for the next 4 to 5 weeks for other teams to potentially step in and do their thing. There's a lot of teams who are 4-2, 2-4, 3-3. All those teams are still in the race. I know by this point some people are ready to give up, but this is actually the mid-season swing. It's an exciting time. By the next half of this football season, things could flip. A lot of things could flip. A lot of people who are in the bottom half of the league could hop up, and the people who are in the middle of the top can definitely get pushed down. But it will be really, really difficult to kick out Sarah or Brett. They're both probably going to make it. Here we go. Eddie versus Adam. Adam 5-1, another 5-1 team. Eddie 3-3. Eddie has the opportunity to put himself in a 4-3 situation, Adam into a 5-2 situation, and that's one of those things. Like I said, this is the counterattack point. These teams can propel themselves forward with a nice big win. Eddie has a lot on the line here because he's pushing he's in playoff position right now for sure. Mahomes versus Darnold. Darnold's been playing lights out, but he has to go against Detroit defense. Everyone is saying without Hutchinson, the Vikings should be able to just walk all over Detroit, and that might be true on the running end. But in terms of the secondary hasn't lost anything. If I'm being completely honest, their secondary is underrated. They're good defense, and it should be a fun game to watch. Mahomes gets to go against San Fran, and like I was just saying, San Fran's defense hasn't been playing as well as people think. And I'm just going to keep just pounding the table because I think it's just a matter of time for Mahomes to just go nuclear year by year, or not year by year, but week after week. The last couple of years, people have been just saying Mahomes fell off, Mahomes is this, Mahomes is that. I still think he's the best QB in the league. And it's really just a matter of time. Henry versus Barkley. Both of these guys might actually give both of them 30 points this week. Legitimately. Jeez. Both of these running backs are insane. Number 1 versus number 2, I think. Or number 3. That's going to be fun. Okama Gamesphere versus Najee. I like Okama Gamesphere a little bit more. I think Najee without Fields on the field is a better prospect because Fields won't be running the ball every snap, but he has to go against the Jets defense, and Okama Gamesphere gets to go against the Chargers defense, which is a really good defense, just not as good as the Jets defense. Debo versus Jamar Chase. I love Debo for president, but Jamar Chase is he's just tearing it up. Bro's absolutely tearing it up. Man, that's 7-11 for you. But Debo could do the same thing. If he gets fed and manufactured targets, the reason why I love Debo is like on any given week, this dude can give you 30 to 40 points. Like he's so explosive. He's constantly being fed. Love Debo. Amari Cooper versus Metcalf. I'm a huge Metcalf non-believer. He has his huge weeks. I don't think his play style is sustainable. He eventually faces defenses that just bracket him and like kind of just take him out of the game, and he has a really hard time getting back into it after that. He's the type of receiver who'll give you like a 20, 25 point boom week and then just give you like a 5 or 6 point week more often than not. He's a very mid wide receiver. He's not bad. I just think he's not as good as everyone thinks he is. Amari Cooper, on the other hand, is a very undervalued receiver in my opinion. Bro's constantly getting open. He's running the correct routes. He's got hands. He's like elusive as fuck. He just had to deal with Deshaun Watson for his first 6 weeks. But now he gets to play with Josh Allen. And if he does play this week, which I do think he is expected to play, he's expected to play. Even if it's their first week, it's going to be good. Like, I think Amari Cooper as a Bill, like, might actually fit. Josh Allen likes to throw risky balls, which Amari Cooper is more than happy to just go up there and grab him. Hunter Henry versus Freiermuth. That just like one of them might get you a touchdown. Roll the dice to see which one gets you the touchdown, and that's the tight end that wins. That's how tight ends are in general, though. I'm not talking ill of it. It's just tough for tight ends this year, I feel like. Mixon versus Flowers. Give me Mixon. Flowers is a talented receiver, but Joe Mixon is a fucking dog. Worthy versus Kelsey. Kelsey in the flex. That's crazy to me. That's crazy. Something might get switched up here. Maybe not. Still give me Worthy. I think even though Kelsey's been like the last 2 weeks, he's been all right. I think Worthy, like I said, most rookies are on a slow tempo and they slowly ramp up through the year. I think after the bye, normally rookies start to see a little bit more work because they kind of use the bye to really, really like beat it into the rookie. That sounded pause. To really like show the rookies like how things are done and like really go over tape and then really manufacture touches for them. And they're already doing that in the first 5 weeks for Worthy, but now we're gonna see that 6 to 8 targets consistently for Worthy, especially with the injuries happening there. Huntley versus Geno. Give me Geno. As much as I'd love to believe in Huntley and Tyreek Hill and all that, Mike McDaniels, Geno Smith is just if Geno Smith was on a good team like the Niners, like Geno Smith could legitimately put up 30 to 40 point weeks like almost every week. Baltimore D versus Steelers defense. This is like both of these defense might drop you like 15 to 20 points each. I know the Ravens get to go against the Bucs, and Baker's been playing really well, but just the defense is so good. Like consistently getting sacks, forcing fumbles. The special teams is actually pretty solid there. Steelers, same thing, like constantly attacking the ball. Like even if they get scored on, they're gonna give you points. And I don't know. Love both the defenses. Good work, boys. Gonna root for Eddie this week. To see the top teams lose is in my best interest as well. Even though I'm really, really far and out, you never give up, never surrender. Let's have a good year, even if it doesn't work out for us. Still think that the Amari Cooper trade might have propelled Eddie's team into a top 4 position. I'm not gonna lie to you. All right. Alex versus Brandon. This is brutal. Brandon's projected 150. Alex is projected 130. And as per usual, I'm going to root for my girlfriend. Sorry, Brandon. But we'll go through the matchup nonetheless. Joe Burrow versus Jared Goff. Joe Burrow is clearly the more talented quarterback. I don't care what anybody says. Jared Goff performs really well. There's no denying that. But he also has like one of the best teams and coaches and like just overall like organization. Like as of right now, I don't think Jared Goff has ever played on a bad team. And that's not a true knock at him. I still think he's serviceable, and that's not a bad thing at all, especially for fantasy, right? He's serviceable, gets you his points, does his thing. Joe Burrow is still a fucking beast. Robinson versus Gibbs. Give me Bijan. I think Bijan finally had he's been consistently getting you double digits, but I don't know, 56%. He is losing snaps. That is scary. Didn't practice, but apparently he's been dealing with that injury this whole entire year. They've just been kind of nursing it and hoping it didn't get worse, but it seems to be like he's getting a little bit better. Jahmyr Gibbs, same sort of problem, splitting the field. Gibbs hasn't seen a huge game yet this year. Consistently getting you work, but would be nice to see Jahmyr Gibbs kind of take that next step forward, but it's really hard to do that when your counter running back is just getting into the end zone whenever he pleases. Antonio Gibson versus Chase Brown. Chase Brown is completely taken over the backfield. That was anticipated, though. Anybody who watched that team knew Zach Moss, or anybody who watched football in general knew Zach Moss wasn't actually the real deal. And Chase Brown was the more effective running back. I think the Bengals finally realized that, and we'll probably see more Chase Brown. Gibson, if Ramondre plays, I wouldn't start Gibson personally. I would try to find something else. Higgins versus Douglas. Douglas is a little bit more promising with Drake May out there, of course, but T. Higgins has Burrow, so that's a wipe. Judy versus McLaurin. McLaurin has a really good quarterback, really efficient quarterback, actually getting him the ball. So McLaurin has looked really good this year. He might actually have his first top 20 finish as a wide receiver this year. McLaurin has never finished as a top 20 receiver once in his career, but I think it's going to happen. I think he finally has the juice. Judy without Amari Cooper there is actually a really good start. Judy was already getting fed the ball a healthy amount before Amari Cooper really started to just dominate the field. But if you go back, averaging 6, 7, 8, so like eight targets a game, he's probably going to go back to that. Brock Bowers versus Colby Parkinson. Brock Bowers, he's just a dog. No Devontae Adams there, so obviously I think Brock Bowers is going to be the number one receiver there. Lockett versus Deontay. I don't know. They're both they're literally the same receiver, right? Like both boom or bust. They're either going to get you a shit ton of points or they're going to get you 0. So whichever one gets you a touchdown is going to win that. Rachaad White versus Bucky Irving. This is the most hilarious matchup probably this week. They're both probably actually going to give you 8 points each. I'm not going to lie to you. Stafford versus Daniels. I already talked about Daniels. I think Daniels he has the running upside. He has the throwing upside. Dude is solid. Guess we're going to Carolina, which is going to be funny. Carolina just ran their mouths about Daniels. So I think this is going to be a very personal game for Daniels. Daniels has probably been putting in extra VR time, just simulating what Carolina's defense looks like, and is just probably ready to have a huge week. My prediction is Daniels is going to run in a touchdown this week. At least one. I'm going to put my money where my mouth is on that one too. Stafford might actually get Cooper Kupp back. If Cooper Kupp is back, that's going to look really nice, especially against the Raiders. Stafford is a very serviceable quarterback. One of the best quarterbacks to play the game, in my opinion, but is he useful for fantasy? Not really, because he gets negative rushing yards each week, so it kind of sucks because unless he throws for like 2 to 3 touchdowns each week, which if you know Sean McVay, he likes to run the ball, so not likely. Chiefs versus Bengals. Bengals get to go against the poopy Browns, so that's high upside for them. Kansas City gets to go against San Fran, probably get you right around that 8-point mark, 6 to 8 point mark, and the Bengals will probably actually get you into that double digits. Good matchup though. And for the last matchup of the week, we got Alex Moise versus the Ron Sausage Fada, aka Mikey. Bo Nix, those picks actually had an okay game. I mean, their defense just went crazy, and obviously, he just kind of did his job, Got the yards, got the rushes, got the first downs, didn't turn the ball over. That's the most important part. Kyler has been playing absolutely fucking dookie. Bro is just, he's a fantasy merchant, dude. He gets you so much rushing yards and, do his thing, but he legitimately, he'll throw the ball 30 times in each game, but, dude, I for so many years have had just this hate for Kyler Murray because dude can't see over the line. He's considered one of the best quarterbacks in the league. I just don't think so. How can you be one of the best quarterbacks in the league when you truly cannot see over your linemen? He can't see his open receivers because he can't see over the line. So anything that happens over the middle, it's an absolute train wreck because he can't see them. Marvin Harrison, wide open over the middle, doesn't fucking matter because he can't see over the line. He has to throw on the outside, so he has to throw he has to roll out, do something of that nature, and then normally by that time he's getting caught. It looks terrible. Honestly, Kyler Murray is who Daniel Jones was supposed to be this year, and Daniel Jones is not playing the best, but he's at least getting his team down the field consistently. Are they getting into the red zone? No, but I honestly, him and Kyler and Daniel Jones are to me just two shitty quarterbacks, and if they were to switch bodies, that would be insane. Or not insane. Well, if Kyler had Daniel Jones's body, he would be insane because he would be 6'3" and actually seeing over the line. It would be nuts, but he's not. Don't know what Daniel Jones' problem is. That's a different problem for a different day. Not our problem. Jordan Mason versus Jacobs. Jordan Mason has that injury. I'm not sure. It was enough to keep him off the field last week, and they said he's fine and he will play. But me personally, I'm worried. I'm worried that he's not going to get more than 50% of the snaps. He might actually barely scratch 50%. I think they're going to have him on the field because you want defenses to scheme against a certain player, but at the same time, are they going to risk further injury? Actually, knowing Shanahan, he might. You know what? Yeah, he actually might. Fuck. But Jacobs has been looking okay. A lot of attempts each week, averaging 18 to 20. He had a 32 attempt week, but I don't think that'll happen again. He had 32 attempts and only had 15 points. Josh Jacobs might be the most overrated running back this year, but he's gonna get you your points, so that's all that matters. Pollard versus Kenneth Walker. Give me Kenneth Walker. Kenneth Walker is a beast. If Kenneth Walker and Geno Smith had a good offensive line, the Seahawks team might legitimately be a top team in the league, but they don't. So Pollard has been pretty good. He's been pretty juiced. I think we found out who the RB1 on this team is, and first name's Tony, last name's Pollard. Amon-Ra versus Neighbors. Both just insane receivers who are consistently being fed the ball when they can. Neighbors legitimately is just a hound dog. Just a hound doggy, dude. I don't know what else to say, dude. This guy, this offense just wants to, this offense is going through Malik Neighbors. Devontae Smith versus Tyreek Hill. Another good receiver matchup. I love Tyreek Hill, but Huntley playing behind the helm could prove difficult, as it has in the past. Tyreek Hill is one of the most exciting receivers in the league, but without Tua, he's clearly not as good as we all thought. There are some receivers that are QB proof, and I thought Tyreek Hill would be one of those, but it turns out he's not, and that's hard to say. Devontae Smith he's a beast. I think 4 targets was just kind of a let's ease him into his workload again before he gets popped, because Devontae Smith, for a small dude, takes a lot of hits because he plays inside and outside on the receiver end, so he's being constantly flipped around. He's getting hit a lot, and I think last week was just kind of all right, let's ease him into it. I will probably see those 8 to 10 targets that we were seeing before this week. I like Devontae Smith a little bit more than Tyreek Hill this week. Obviously, I'm hoping Tyreek Hill does really well. I just don't think the QB play is there. McBride versus Likely. McBride, Likely's only as good as the game plan is, and if they decide not to throw again, which they might not throw that often, or maybe they will, I don't know, it'll depend how the game script looks, but if Tampa Bay gets ahead, then Likely will have a good game. If Ravens get ahead, then Likely will have a bad game. Cooper Kupp versus Brian Thomas. It's looking like Cooper Kupp might actually play this week. It says game time decision. That, to me, in my head, is trying to get teams to not want to pursue game planning for Cooper Kupp. I think it's too bad. I think teams are ready to prepare for Cooper Kupp this week. They should prepare for Cooper Kupp this week if he has any possibility of playing. But I think this Q tag will fall this week. I think if he wasn't going to play this week, they should have just thrown him out on the IR. They didn't do that. I think he's all right. I think he's all right enough to play. He's been running routes and practicing for the last couple of weeks. I think personally that we might actually see Cooper Kupp back. Brian Thomas has been a stud. I do think that overall he has been playing better than Marvin Harrison Jr., but to be completely honest with you, Trevor Lawrence is a more serviceable throwing quarterback than Kyler Murray. I'm going to say it. I don't care. You can hate me all you want. I don't give a shit. Kyler Murray cannot see over the line. Bro cannot throw the fucking ball. What a piece of shit. Achane versus Montgomery. Give me Montgomery. He's been a touchdown fucking merchant, dude. Bro hasn't had a game without a touchdown yet. I don't think he's going to have a game this year without a touchdown. And it's crazy because if you take away his touchdowns, he's honestly not even that good of a running back this year. But then again, he's splitting snaps, so he could do more. But he without those touchdowns, his point total would look atrocious. But it doesn't matter because Lions line is insane. Montgomery is going insane, and I don't know. It's been fun to watch. Rattler, dude, what a joke. That game was honestly really hard to watch. That was the worst Thursday night game we watched this year. I thought we had broken the curse. It turns out we didn't. Herbert versus Arizona. Herbert might actually have a nice good game. It's looking like the Chargers are looking to recruit some receivers. It's looking like they're on the trading block. If they can get Herbert a good wide receiver one, could be a great turnaround for Herbert. The Bills versus the Commanders. Both solid defenses. One gets to go against Tennessee. One goes against Carolina. Both of these defenses could drop you 15 to 20 points this week based off of the performance of the QBs. Will Levis might fumble and throw 2 picks, and Andy Dalton has played well above his actual skill level, and I'm going to stand on that as somebody who's had to watch Andy Dalton play for a little bit as his main quarterback. I can say with my absolute full heart that he's playing way better than he actually is. And it might be a prove it thing for him, but I think that euphoria of Andy Dalton is going to die off. But yeah, that's all we have. Who do I think is going to win the Mirza versus Mikey matchup? I think Mirza is going to win. I think even with Rattler's shitty performance, what's going to separate it is if Cooper Kupp plays. If Cooper Kupp doesn't play, then I'm obviously go with Mike. But if Cooper Kupp plays, I think I think Moise takes it for sure. A double Mirza win. All right, everybody. I appreciate y'all for watching this. I'm sorry I slacked on the video last week and I didn't push it out before Thursday. Work has been very tiring. I've had hard time coming back from work and having the energy to put into videos. But today, I woke up a little extra motivated. So hopefully you guys enjoyed. Have a good one.